All right, it is that time of year where food is the gift that keeps on giving. So would you try a vegan version of your favorite holiday meal? For many of us, that doesn't seem so appetizing. However, one entrepreneur and restaurateur is changing the game, making it her mission to make veganism not only tasty, but sexy. Pinky Cole's vegan restaurant business is booming. She's expanded across the United States, serving up great food with a name you just can't forget, Slutty Vegan. How did you come up with the name Slutty Vegan?
I was in Atlanta in my 2-bedroom apartment. That is when Slutty Vegan was born. And I knew that it was special because I was solving a personal problem. And I'm like, okay, I want some vegan comfort food on the late night. And I don't want to eat fries and a side salad. I want to eat some like real good food at night. And Slutty Vegan was born in that bedroom. And from that moment, I went into the lab and I started doing the research, and it evolved into something so beautiful. And even today, 6 years later, I sit back and I think about like, damn, I really created something special.
What did your community say when you're like, I'm going to start a restaurant called Slutty Vegan and it's going to be vegan food? Because in the South, we like meat.
Yes. When I first started Slutty Vegan, there were a lot of people that were uncomfortable with the idea of me having a brand and saying slut. But what I've been able to do is re-engineer a word in a way that you've never seen it before. I said, okay, all right, I'm a former television producer, so I know what people pay attention to. I know what's going to make them watch it. I need to merge sex and food together in a way that you've never seen it before. And when I did that, it was a recipe for success. All I'm trying to do is get your attention.
Once I get you in here.
And yes, when you walk into my restaurant, the first thing that we do is call you a slut. But it's a term of endearment. And by the time you leave this restaurant, you're going to be proud, excited, uncomfortable in the right way. And then you're going to have this vegan burger and you are going to be pleasantly surprised, like, wow, this is actually really good. And I can actually eat vegan food because I went to Slutty Vegan and I had a really great experience.
There is a health problem here in the United States. It's one of the unhealthiest places on earth. When you look at where we are economically, socioeconomically, there are also food deserts. Food deserts exist, you know, I know, and the underprivileged folks pay more for fresh food and often don't have it very close to them. What do you tell them? What are they supposed to do?
You know, it's interesting, when I first started Slutty Vegan, I specifically went into underserved communities. And I went into areas where there were no vegan food. They didn't hear of vegan food. But I also realized that I had to create that healthy balance because I was bringing my food into an area where they couldn't even afford it. And it was a sad reality. And I realized, like, oh, this is deeper than rap. I can't just open up stores in communities like this. I really got to provide a safe space for them to be able to afford and tap in. So I have re-engineered how I elevate my brand and being more intentional about making it more affordable for people who otherwise couldn't afford it. That's important to me because I realize that, like, people want to go vegan and they want to eat the food, but they also have to have access to it. And that's financial access, that's informational access, and as long as they have the access to it, then they can partake in it more. And if they can do it more, then their kids will eat more of it, and their kids will eat more of it, and then you'll see it won't just be like, oh, vegan is this new trendy thing. It's just people just want good food that's healthier, even if it means a vegan burger and fry.
I want to talk to you about your personal life. What significant thing happened the day you were born?
The day that I was born, my father was being sentenced to almost 30 years in prison. So that wasn't the gift that kept on giving that I expected. So while it was extremely difficult not to have a father figure in the house because of relationships and being a girl and just wanting daddy home, what I learned is that as long as your mind is free, there is nothing that could stop you. So as a result of that, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to make it. I wanted to be a star.
You've written 2 books.
I have.
On top of the restaurants that are growing all over the place.
Yes.
What's the name of your first book?
Eat Plants, Bitch.
So we know what that's about.
Yes.
And the second book is...
I Hope You Fail.
So I've looked at them both. And when I saw the name of the second book, I was like, damn, rude. Like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah.
But I listened to it. And you give some advice in there. And one of the bits of advice is, I hope you make a decision that ruins your life.
Yeah.
Why?
I fail every day. Every single day is a failure, but it's not a failure at all. It is finding the aspiration in the losses. And I wrote that book because when I wrote it, I was in a season of my life where I was still overcoming the pain from my past, right? And I wanted people to know that I am real.
You said haters drive you.
Yes.
But that you also recommend that we talk to ourselves.
Yes.
What are you saying to yourself?
Girl, what's wrong with you? Get up. You can do it. You the boss. You the sugar honey iced tea.
I know that one. Sugar honey iced
Okay.
tea. Spell the letters out. You will see what she's talking about.
You got to be aggressive with yourself. Yeah. Like sometimes I got to be like, wait a minute, Pinky, what's going on with you? Like you are that girl. It's in you. You got the je ne sais quoi. Like everything about you is excellent. Everything about you is top tier. Nobody can take that away from you. Money can't take that away from you. Status can't take that away from you. You the GOAT, Pinky.